Hello,
Hello.
everybody. We're back.
We're back.
Yay! You may not have noticed, but we did take a little breather. And the reason for that is because this episode actually has a lot of emotional content for us, and we just needed to breathe.
Chill out a bit.
Yeah. And it's not that we regret any of these decisions at all. No, 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 no. But it's just, it was a tough time to uproot from Northern Ireland and to come to this very strange country called England. Not at all. We absolutely love it.
Yeah.
We absolutely love Preston and England and the people in it, as well as loving the people in Northern Ireland. But perhaps you'll understand something. It was an emotional upheaval for us to leave our roots and to leave our parents and family and to come over here. So it may have been tough, but I tell you what, we were also filled with excitement and hope for what lay ahead. So, are you ready, folks? Over to our resident poet.
Glasses on, belt up. Well, that doesn't sound right, does it? Belt yourself in.
Fasten your seatbelts. Is that what you're doing
That's
for,
it.
Arnold? Okay, then.
Yeah.
Right, here we go.
Why Preston? Why Preston? It's a question we've been asked many times since arriving in England 35 years ago. But it's never been easy to explain why we're here when the God we serve most folks don't know. And that's the nub of the answer and the reason we are here. For God is the author of the story of our lives. His love for the children of England is deep, and his heart longs that each of them thrives. We hope our story will help explain why we left fulfilling lives in East Belfast behind, where a growing work with supporting friends was a blessing we would struggle to find. But we determined to do what God asked us to do. His heart was breaking for this nation so lost. Our great heritage, once rooted in him, was daily draining away at great cost. For the sake of the children, that's why we're here, with a message of good news to share, of hope and forgiveness and purpose in Christ, paid for when our sins he did bear. Brooklands Church arranged a joint farewell service for us cookies and Pam's brother and wife, Philip and Heather, with Joy and Rachel, their daughters, would soon be embarking on the journey of their life.
And actually, Philip and Heather were actually going back to the Ivory Coast. They'd already been there for a number of years, and they'd had to return for Rachel's illness and recovery time, etc. And they were returning. So, unlike ourselves, it was our first uprooting. They had already done that a few years earlier. So, that farewell service, valedictory, whatever you want to call it, which Brooklands, our church at that time, kindly put a lot of energy and work into. We have some old footage of that evening.
Oh dear.
Yeah, but the stars of the show were our two girls, and Joy and Rachel, their cousins, Philip and Heather's two girls. So we thought maybe you'd like to see some of that footage. See us 35 years ago. See Sharon and Julie 35 years ago. So Sharon was 10. That's giving away her age a bit. She was 10 and Julie was 7.5. And then Joy and Rachel as well, the four cousins were together. And in this footage, we'll see them coming in. You'll see the proud grandparents watching them coming. And so behind... Yeah, my mum and dad were there.
Of course, I thought you meant us.
No. Oh no, just because Sharon was called grandma in school today by a pupil, we now feel like great grandparents.
I think we are great grandparents, would you agree?
We're wonderful.
Evie, Emily and Ruby.
Well, we do our best, you know. They're very forgiving, which is good. Anyway, and behind the four girls where they're sitting is myself in the white hat. Arnold, what a handsome dude he was and still is. of
Thank you.
course. And then Heather, my brother's wife, Heather. And then Philip, my brother. I have another brother and a sister as well. But for this evening, these were the only ones that were there. Okay, here we go. That evening was amazing, actually. Looking back on the old footage, of course, it did resurrect lots of emotions. And we saw friends there, but we also saw relatives and friends who are no longer with us. So obviously, we are emotional beings, and obviously, that was all coming out as well. But it's a good time. It's good to process tough stuff, isn't it, Arnold?
It is.
It
Not
is.
easy, but it's good.
No, but it's good. We've got to do that. So here we are. You'll see them coming in, the four girls coming in. And then, actually, just to give you a wee flavour of the culture 35 years ago in that particular church we were at, we'll listen to part of the first song led by a friend, Marty Loudon, on the guitar. So here goes.
Looking back at old footage of that night long ago caused us a mixture of joy and pain. In obeying God, we left family and friends, and our lives would never be the same again. But we have no regrets. We are so glad we came. Preston is and always will be our home, and the folks God has blessed because we obeyed have been blessed because we decided to come. We say that humbly, for we are very aware that God's blessings flow through people who care, and we all can be channels He will lovingly use if we take up His cross and we dare. Our friends David and Eleanor gave us a home for 3 months when we sold our house in record-breaking time. Welcomed 4 cookies into their family, and thank God we all got along just fine.
And David and Eleanor, talk about an amazing couple. David was the one who...
Let's talk about an amazing couple.
It's not us this time, Arnold. David and Eleanor. David filmed the valedictory service in the footage that you just saw. And, you know, he'd only bought that camera that day. And that was the first thing he filmed. I can't believe he did such a great job on it.
Very impressive, David.
He didn't want to walk around and be conspicuous, because that's the type of man he is. But he did a great job, and we're so grateful to have that record.
Yes,
It's not an HD, no, and it's not the best quality. There is a bit of interference, but sure, it was great at the time, and it's great to view it again. So David and Eleanor, they had 3 children already, And little Anthony was just 6 months old when we lived with him as well. So us four arriving in on him, three young children. Eleanor, the mum at home, was such a busy bee. Eleanor doesn't walk anywhere slowly. She still doesn't. She bounces around. She's still bouncing around today, and we love having time with them when we get a chance when we go over to Northern Ireland. So Eleanor was rushing. She was so efficient, and she was putting out big roast dinners for us all on a Sunday and all that. Honestly, it was unbelievable, the hospitality from the both of them. Well, David had a very stressful job as a solicitor. So wisely, the wise man that he is, he needed to wind down a bit when he got in from work before he hit the fray of the house with us all in it. And so my memory of David is sitting in the little sun house up the back while tea's being prepared with a glass of wine and a handful of peanuts. And that was his way of relaxing. And then he was ready to face us lot in the house. Yeah. They are such an amazing couple.
Maybe he had a stiff drink afterwards as well.
He's being very naughty today, isn't he? He's interrupting me. No, not quite. It's a comedy show today. We've had a break. No, Eleanor is one of those people who just exudes joy all the time. She's full of life. And actually, she has been through some really tough times. But through it all, you can see that joy. And in David as well. Such a beautiful couple. We can't speak highly enough of them. So thank you once again, David and Eleanor, for your amazing hospitality.
We love you both.
We do. Another great couple, I think.
Friends, Albert and Margaret, put our furniture in store while we house hunted in Preston town. They shipped it overseas and helped us change our car. With friends like these, God did not let us down.
No.
We found our home in Preston quite quickly with help from CCF, our new church family. Rob and Barbara, the leaders, were so kind to us, putting us up and taking us round to see the houses, that is. Ken and Sue, who owned this house in Rosemead, where we are now, kindly agreed to hold it for half a year. And so by July, our new mortgage was through. And by August 17th, we were here. In July, on a visit to sign our mortgage deal, we stayed in a 10-foot caravan in Nateby, kindly lent by our friends David and Miriam, whose love and care was something to see.
That caravan, we still have memories of that caravan. It was amazing. We needed a place because we're over to sign the mortgage deal and also welcome our furniture and stuff out of storage arriving in Rosemead Avenue here. So in that caravan, being the people that we are, we asked a couple back from the church after the service for supper on a Sunday night. And it was such a laugh because then that meant 6 in a 10-foot caravan. And the important thing we had to remember was not everybody could be at the same end of the caravan at the same time.
Otherwise, we would have been tipsy.
Are you on the alcohol again? So I've got great memories of that. I'm so grateful to David and Miriam for that. Now, another thing, we have some amazing friends, aren't we? Seriously, as we tell these stories, I'm realizing the friends that we have had over the years and still have are so kind and so generous. Something else. The church family that we became a part of over here, they had a lady who had just come back from Pakistan. She had been doing some great work in Pakistan with an organization called Operation Mobilization. And she had come back. Well, obviously, she had nowhere to stay here. Well, we obviously, let's put her up as soon as our furniture arrives. She can stay here with us. So Barbara was here the day the furniture arrived. And my memories of Barbara were helping put away all the kitchen stuff. That was her thing. She did all the kitchen stuff while we were trying to arrange everything else in the house to get back to Northern Ireland to do our summer work. So not only did Barbara do that, and she stayed in the house until we got over, and a while afterwards, of course, that she needed. Um, while that was happening, there seemed to be visitors. I can't quite remember why it was all happening, but there seemed to be people that we knew. In Northern Ireland, people often came over to England on holidays then, including ourselves. Um, and so they would be passing through up the M6 and needed somewhere to stay as they passed through. Why pay a hotel or somewhere if you can stay at the cookies? Well, Barbara hosted our friends and visitors. We didn't force her to, we didn't even ask her to. She offered to do it. And she counted up at one time 27 different people through. And we heard reports.
Superwoman.
Seriously, she knew how to work.
She was a worker.
We hear reports from some that stayed, excuse me, that she would do breakfast table all laid out, complete with orange juice and all. And it was just lovely the way she looked after people and cooked for them as they needed. And then, of course, she changed all the beds and washed all the clothes before the next ones arrived.
Amazing.
Incredible woman. So we're so grateful to God for Barbara and her willingness to do all that for us.
Thank you, Barbara. If you ever see this,
I don't know whether you will or not.
I think she's back in Ireland, but we're not too sure.
Yeah, I haven't heard from her for a while, have we?
No.
There you go.
Okay. Then, while back in Belfast for our summer work, 5-day clubs and children's camp by the sea, Barbara Geddes from Ireland was a great host or hostess, looking after our house and passing friends and family. That farewell evening with church family and friends was one both families won't easily forget. Philip, Heather and girls would soon be in Ivory Coast, translating the Bible in the Kuya dialect.
I'm wondering, Aaron, would people like to see another clip of
That'd
that
be good.
evening? Because Sharon and Julie, Joy and Rachel, the four of them sang. And it's so cute. Now, they're just filmed from the back. Well, you saw them from the front, and you saw our Julie, by the way, in the last clip. Our Julie never sat still a minute. She realises now what we went through with that wee monkey. She's talking away and she's doing this. You'll notice that in the first clip. Anyway, if you don't notice it, rewind, because quite comical. But the four of them sang like little angels, and it's made up words to the song. Do you remember it? Snooker Lippy. Snooker, lippy, nuts are we. Anyway, you know that. Why did we do that? We didn't do that in our preparation. Anyway, there you go. You're blessed. You will be blessed when you hear the girls singing. So Heather, Philip's wife, is leading on the guitar, and me, Arna's wife, is kind of doing a wee conducting thing, trying to help them with the words. Very reserved I was in those days. Anyway, so we will now show you that clip of the girls singing.
Enjoy.
the story, Arnold.
Their story is amazing, their trials and tears, and their joys in the task worth a look. Their 17-year sojourn with the Kuya tribe, so well written in Philip's no ordinary book. And here's Philip and Heather today with the book, and it's available on Amazon. It's worth a read, I can tell you.
Remember, no ordinary book. Now you've seen it on the photograph, you see it on the photograph, you know what it'll look like on Amazon.
Enjoy. So the very next day, we left Ireland's shores with an exciting adventure ahead, wondering just what our future would hold, but encouraged by the words friends had said.
Yeah. So that's it for today, for this time, folks. So already just looking ahead to our next one. I had another one of those ideas that I kind of say to Aaron, I've had an idea, you know, the way we've said before that he often needs a little while to process, which is great. I've learned that, and that's fine, because I know when he agrees to a thing, he means it, okay? So he didn't need that processing time for this one. Yeah, we were both very excited at the thought of this. So this will unfold before your eyes in the next episode of our story. Thanks very much again for all your support, folks. We really
Thank
do
you.
appreciate it.
Yes, we do. Thank you very much.
Bye for now.
Bye.